Welcome back to another episode of Nurtured Noir, the podcast where we unpack the beautiful, complex, and transformative journey of Black motherhood, womanhood, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nanji, and in today's episode is one that we all need to talk about: how men can support Black moms and why true partnership is a non-negotiable. We do have a special guest today, my lovely husband. I'm gonna call him Babe, but I'll let him introduce himself later on in the episode. Motherhood is not meant to be a solo mission, yet so many women, especially Black women and Black moms, feel like they're carrying the weight of parenting alone. So today we're going to break it down: how us as wives can help our husbands step up to be better partners and fathers, how husbands can provide real support through postpartum recovery, and why teamwork in parenting makes all the difference. So, whether you're a mom, a dad, or someone who loves a Black mother, or is just struggling in this parenthood streets, this conversation is for you. Let's start with the wifeys. We're gonna start with the truth that might be hard to hear sometimes. We as wives and mothers don't always want to give our partners the space or the tools to step up as being a father. And I know what you're thinking. Why do I have to teach him to be a father? And I understand. But the reality is if we want a true partnership, we have to be intentional about how we invite our husbands. Now, I'll just say a quick little personal story with that. With our first child, I was in super mom mode. I was just like, it's all about me. I know how to do it. I'm going to do it. You don't know what you're doing. I carried this baby for 9 months, yada, 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 yada. And all that's cool and dandy, but I did isolate myself and made postpartum way harder than it needed to be because I didn't allow my husband to step up to the father that I know that he was then, he continued to be, and that he is now. And I created this universe where I was so mad. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I felt like a married single mom, when I wasn't. I kind of created that reality because I felt like I needed to do everything myself. And that's not okay. You know, I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know, in a sense, what to say to him to help me out, because we were first-time parents. We didn't know. And obviously in society and how I personally grew up, the women did everything. And I mean everything. The husbands were just there pretty much as trophies. And just, kind of fitting that narrative of, the dumb father, the dumb husband. And this man is far from dumb, okay? He's quite intelligent. And I didn't allow him that space. And that really affected not only our marriage and our relationship in terms of parenthood, but his own relationship with our kids. Granted, I finally got it together after kid number 2, thank God. So, how wives can help encourage their husbands to step up. Now, I know, sis, you probably have breast milk and formula, you have drool and a big old eye boogie in the and
eye boogie. Eye boogie is crazy.
And the last thing that's on your mind is, like I said before, why is it on me to teach my husband how to be a father? And it's just something that we have to do, because though they have their own connection and bond with y'all's baby, it's not the same. As mothers, literally, our brain becomes rewired. We are completely different. We are fused with our babies. It's not only in humans, it's in animals, it's in everything in the world, that we are literally one with our child. So it just becomes natural to us because we share one brain with our babies, pretty much. So for the husbands, they are used to, and correct me if I'm wrong, baby, they are used to or taught to just go out to the world. They are not necessarily in the home. So that disconnect, it has to be on it should be on the mother, but it should be a partnership, but the initiative should be on the mother, because you are the world for your child. You guys are one, so you have to teach your partner, your husband, little by little on how to do certain things, because it doesn't necessarily come natural to them, because they're not fused, they didn't carry the child, and all of those things. They are looking outside, looking in. That is why. And another reason is, excuse me, the best way to encourage husbands to be better parents and to be a better father is to ask for help, and don't assume that they know what to do. This kind of ties into what I just said, is that it's not going to always come to them as natural to sense things the way that a mother does. Especially when you're going through that newborn phase, you smell when the baby needs to poop. You can already tell just by their faces, because you're holding the baby. Breastfeeding or formula feeding, all of those things, you just know, just that mother's intuition, you just know. So if you need help, ask, because in their mind something else is going on completely different. They're trying to figure out, how can I help? Am I able to help? Oh my gosh, how am I going to support this new growing family, and all the other things that my husband will touch on, because I'm not a man, so I don't know. That's just going through their minds and stuff. So just simply asking for help is a great way to encourage them. An example, instead of saying you never help, try, can you handle bedtime every night so I can get a break? Now, our kid's a little bit older, but husband takes care of bath time every night. That's just what it is. Bedtime routine, all of that. Mommy just like, okay, bye. I've been with y'all all day long. This is daddy time, and I love that he does that, honestly, without even me asking. It was just something that just kind of went into naturally, and I'm so thankful for this man right here. Number 2, encourage shared responsibility, not just help. A lot of men might think that they're just helping with parenting rather than co-parenting. Helping is different. He's not the help. I didn't hire him. He's not a babysitter or anything like that. He never was. He's a very, very involved father and an involved husband. We created these children together, and I'm not going to just be like, oh babe, can you help me out? Like that sounds really weird, to be honest. He is very involved, and he jumps in because he can sense where I'm feeling overwhelmed, and he's like, all right, I got it, babe, go disappear. Do I listen? It depends on the day, but it's the effort that counts in terms of him just realizing that I can. It's just him realizing, knowing that I just need that break instead of asking for it. But still, the shared responsibility should be between both parents, and just to kind of continue building that bond, not only as married couples, but also with your children. Number 3, let go of the he won't do it right mindset. Transparency moment, that's me. That was me, I should say. Sometimes we micromanage because we want things done a certain way, but that can push dads away. Let him handle things his way, whether it's dressing the baby in mismatched clothes or making mac and cheese 3 nights in a row. The important thing is that he's involved. For me, in those moments, literally, it's just kind of like, no, like it needs to be this way, it needs to be that way. And we've had conversations where it's just like, you just said it, right, babe? Just like, you just gotta let me do it. And I'm just like, but why? You're not doing it my way. And but in all seriousness, like that's not an okay thing to do, because then that kind of makes him feel not worthy of being a father, when I know how amazing of a dad he is, or else we wouldn't have to be kids. So that's something that I feel like as mothers and wives that we really need to work on, that our way is not the only way and it's not the right way. Everybody's different. And lastly, affirm and appreciate their efforts. Some men thrive on encouragement. When they feel appreciated, they are more likely to keep showing up. Now, I love him and I thank him every chance that I get, because honestly, I wouldn't be able to do this parenthood thing without him at all. For those who know me personally, y'all know my story and how mental health has just been such a difficult thing for me, and I wouldn't have gone through that obviously without God and my family, but honestly, I would not have survived without him. So I am so appreciative for him, and I know that your husbands would be very appreciative of you when you thank them, even if just for the smallest things. Keep doing it. You'll see that beautiful smile of theirs, like, oh yeah, I did it. It's like, yes, babe, yes, you did. And you'll keep doing it, because I'm not doing it. But just the encouragement is so necessary. So now we're going to shift to something that's really, really dear to my heart, which is postpartum. And postpartum is one of the most challenging times in a woman's life, yet many men don't understand just how serious it is. Black women in particular face higher risk of postpartum depression, but are often told to just push through. And I'm gonna let my husband not only introduce himself, but kind of give you guys his perspective on how he has helped me through postpartum.
Thanks, babe. Hi, everybody. I'm George Alexander. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say your first name.
No, you don't.
Okay. I am her husband. And just kind of going back to our first go around as parents, seeing how postpartum depression and anxiety really took a toll on my wife and her mental health and the way we communicated and the way we interacted. It's very serious, and it's not something that you can push through. It's not something that you should be encouraged to push through. And for any men listening, watching, hearing their wife listen to it in the other room, like, I want you to key in here. This can be make or break for you. This can be make or break for your entire family. In a multitude of ways. It can be, what drives a wedge between y'all. It can honestly, if it gets too bad and goes unchecked, can, make you a single parent, either by, separation or worse. Because what women go through with PPD and PPA is severe in a lot of cases. And it's, and we see that throughout the animal kingdom as well, but especially with our wives, man, like, you got to step up. In terms of ways that, and please correct me if I'm speaking out of pocket, ways that I, at least in my mind, have helped, taking a more proactive approach to just things that need to be done. Whether it's cleaning, cooking. Now, for me, cooking is easy. I like to cook. She'll tell you, like, when it comes to the meals in the family, like, obviously she can cook. She's a very good cook. I love to cook. I don't. It is one of my love languages. It is one of the things that I do to show love for my family.
Yes. It's a miracle my back is not as big as it is.
So I mean, being proactive and taking that, but cleaning. Now I'm gonna be very honest. I can clean. It is not something that I enjoy, but really not many people do. That's no excuse to not do it. And working through some childhood trauma on my end to about cleaning and all of that, but being proactive so that the house doesn't become a mess, because that can become another stressor for your wife, for your partner, for your baby mom, whatever she is to you. We listen and we don't judge, but you know what a mess look like. Like, let's, what my wife said is completely true. But like, let's be real, guys. Like, we're not babies. We're not infants here. We're not dumb. You know what I'm saying? We're not the absent-minded husband. Like, that trope died a long time ago. We are intelligent individuals. We are intelligent men, and we're men of character. At least we should be. You can see when the dishes is dirty and need to be cleaned, right? You can see when it's a pile of clothes and the laundry's piling up. Like, just do it.
Nike sponsor us.
I did go to a Nike store too. That's funny. Just taking a proactive mindset and saying, okay, what can I do to provide? And I'm very intentional with that word, because as men, it is our job and our charge here and our internal desire to provide. Provision, and this is something that you and I have spoken about at length, and something that you've helped me learn along the way. Provision is not just the monetary. It's not just okay, I'm out here working, we've got a roof over our head, praise God. We've got food on our table, praise God. We've got clothes to wear, praise God.
True.
Yeah, that is provision. But are you providing a space for the woman you love to be able to parent the children you love, and beyond parenting, just be the woman that she deserves to be and can be? Are you providing that environment where she can do that and blossom, where home is home for her too, and not just for you?
Clock that.
So that's provision.
Yeah.
Is providing an opportunity for her to work in the fullness of who she is. And if the answer is not really, or you can't emphatically say yes, and she can't agree wholeheartedly, that's something that you need to reevaluate.
Agreed. And babe, I really appreciate you for those moments, and that's something that we're 3 kids in, and he's still providing that space for me, and it's been hard conversations, uncomfortable conversations on both our ends on how we can be better for each other. We do a lot of parenthood and life biblically. We strongly believe that it's God, us, children. Period. You might believe differently, and that's fine. That's, we listen and we don't judge. That is just what our morals, values, and philosophies are based on, because we strongly believe in the importance of partnership. And with families, it's not where the mom does everything or the dad is, only steps in when it's needed. It's the point of a healthy family is where both people are working as a team. He would always say it's 100-100. There's no such thing as 50-50. And it took me a while to kind of understand that, but he's 100% right, because we give, everything that we can, at a certain, moment of time. We have moments where we're just like, you know what, babe, I only got 2%. 2% is all you got? Okay, I'm at a 0.5. But your 2%, I know how extremely low that is for you. Let me step in, even if I'm lower than you per se, but my low is not as low as your low. I can fathom a little bit extra to help you out, and I love this, and I love this about us, is that we communicate very well.
Yes. We
always have been. And I'll see if I can share the video when we first met on here, and our whole love story and things like that. But if you guys want, an updated version, I guess, comment down below and we will do that as well. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, please comment and we will do a separate video on that, since our anniversary is coming up next month.
Sure is. Be 8 years.
8 years.
8 years married.
I know.
We've already passed 8 years dating and knowing each other. But
yeah, we have our story. Ooh, Lord, it's a testimony. Anyways, but
100%. Partnership
for us is so important, especially when it comes to being a parent. First of all, it benefits the child. It's I feel like in our culture, because that's what I can speak to, it's difficult to see healthy marriages and healthy families, not only in real life but also on TV and in society, because they just want to push that narrative. Oh, black men are the worst fathers. That's not true. That's scientifically not true. Oh, a lot of people, a lot of black babies, they're only living in one parent households. That's not necessarily, it's starting to lessen, I would say. And with that, we all have always said to each other that we want our children to feel the love in our home. That has always been important to us, because minus our own personal families, like I said, we didn't have healthy examples of marriages. You know what I mean? So, not to kind of dive into our own personal life when it comes to that, but our own views of marriage has always been based biblically. I always call him my Ephesians 5. That's just what it is. And if you know, because that's just what it is. And I'm his Proverbs 31, and we create First Corinthians 13 love. That's just what it is for us, period. And because of that, it strengthened our marriage. We've been together for 8 years now, and though it seems so short but so long, we haven't stopped yapping to each other since the day that we met. So, having those moments of honest communication, because we both know how children can really disrupt a relationship. It can really, really disrupt a relationship. And even before we've had children, we've said to each other, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, nah, I'm not doing this again.
We're not even like, so what's your favorite color? I'm not doing that.
I don't care about nobody else's favorite color. I know your favorite color.
And that's
about it for me.
And that is it. We don't have that to do. And we both made the decision that we wanted to have kids. He's always said to me that how much he's wanted to be a father, and he's so good, my man forever. But, even with wanting that and having that desire, experiencing it is completely different. We said we wanted 7 kids. We're like, after 3, we're just like, you know what? No, actually after 1.
7 is not happening.
After 1, we're just like, you know what? I think we're a little bit over our heads here. So we're just like, okay, we're gonna create a cap and we're gonna leave it at that. And praise God, we reached that cap.
7 was ambitious.
It was. What were we thinking?
So, God's number.
That's true. True.
So
Clearly
ambitious.
God was like, no, that's not that's not your ministry. And that is okay. And that partnership, it prevents burnt out. And you could speak to this too, babe. It being a mom, especially with my journey as a stay-at-home mom, and just feeling like I'm just like a hamster on a wheel over and over and over again, doing the mundane task and all of these things. He has helped me kind of have a different shift of a mindset when it comes to that, obviously through prayer and lots of therapy. 5 years actually of therapy because of him. Honestly, I went to therapy because of him. Again, our honest conversation, he was just like, with our first, he was just like, babe, something is really not right now. Well, he didn't say it like that, but something is just off. Like, maybe we should really look into postpartum depression and anxiety and going from there. If he didn't have that honest conversation with me, I probably wouldn't have went to therapy as early as I did. So there's that. But with burnout, having him do life and parenthood with, I know that I can depend on him. I know I can go out with my girls and the kids, as crazy as they are sometimes. I know that he is able to handle it, period. I dealt with a lot of mom guilt with that beforehand, But the more that I did it, the more that he supported me in that, not only was just going out, but just doing things for myself, I am a better mom because of it. And me not allowing him, but giving him that space to be the father that he wants, the kids prefer him over me, to be honest. I'm not.
That's not true.
It is. It's
That
okay.
is not true.
It's.
Because who the first person they call when something don't go their way?
But they go to you first. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Who's the first person they call when something don't go their way?
We'll discuss
What's
this.
the first word out their mouth?
We will discuss this after the podcast.
For me, come on.
And that is perfectly fine with me. I have reached the point, because they're older, I'm just like, okay, you want your daddy? Go get your daddy. That is fine by me. And, you know, he's able to build that relationship with them and, you know, build that bond that's outside of us being parents and outside of me being a mom. They have their own thing with dad, and I love that for them. Mommy's gonna go over there and just hide. And lastly, it redefines Black fatherhood. And I'm just gonna let Babe talk about that, because to me, it's so beautiful to see him be a dad. I tell him all the time that I am so happy our children have him as their father. I'm so happy that our daughters have a man in their life that they can compare all their little boyfriends to, that they probably won't even, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry.
Dog.
They're like 7
Bruh.
and 5. I'm sorry. But
Why?
it's the truth though. That
Yep,
they
that's why
can.
the plant fell.
Anyways.
Just like I was about to.
That they can have somebody that they can really just compare themselves to. Obviously, God is the perfect gentleman, but just having him as a father and that love between them is so beautiful. And of course, like with our son, having an example of what it means to be a godly man is something that I know that there are others that literally pray and fast for, and I'm so thankful to God that I got it. And best believe I'm not letting this one go ever. So in terms of refining Black fatherhood, in terms of how important partnership is, you know, you can touch on that more.
In terms of Black fatherhood, I mean, being a partner and you know, really being in this, you know, 100 and to touch on what you know had said earlier, if you only have 2% and you give that 2%, then that day you gave 100%. So again, understand when we say 100%, it's what you got to give, right? In terms of redefining Black fatherhood, there fairly or unfairly is a stigma with Black fatherhood. Like you again touched on, there's the lie that we're not there when we are quite literally, statistically speaking, the most involved parents
Yes.
among all the races, and there's scientific studies to back that up. But in terms of just fatherhood in general, there's the stigma of the dad. There's the stigma of the dad not knowing. You see these videos where it's almost like cute and accepted for dads to not know anything about their kids.
Yeah. What's up with that?
And I don't get it. One, it's not funny to me. It's not cute. You know, I take pride in knowing everything that I can about our kids.
Yes.
Just like I took pride in, you know, every time we were pregnant, you know, when it came time to have the baby, and they wanted to ask you a question, and it's like, no, don't talk to her. She's pushing the baby out. Talk to me.
Yeah.
I know when she had the Rogaine. I know when she had the blood glucose test. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know when the first day of the last period was. Like, come on, like I got it. Don't remark on me because I'm not doing anything that shouldn't be endemic to fatherhood anyway, because that's your wife pushing your child out.
Period.
And just the power of partnership and the power of, you know, conquering, I hate saying gender roles. Like,
but that's what it is.
when they think about I get questions all the time about, like, you know, what is she cooking for dinner? It's like, she not cooking for dinner.
I'm not.
I am. Like,
I am not.
bruh, I throw down like this.
He does, actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and proudly so. And like you said, it benefits the kids. Like, our kids don't, they ask me what's for dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and,
they do.
And that's something that I take great pride in. They want to learn how to cook. They want to, you know, because the thing that you got to understand about a dad is the kid sees the father as the first person that they've ever recognized outside of themselves.
Yeah.
They don't see their mother as being outside of themselves because they were in their mother. They, you know, see their mother as an extension of themselves. Once you understand that, you know, as a dad, you're their first person.
Yeah.
You're their first outside force.
That's good.
And by being in love and partnership with their mother, one, they learn what love is. And they learn what a father's love is, and they learn what a father's faith is.
That's good.
I want to say it was our pastor, and he was talking about Abraham and Isaac. And when Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, Isaac needed to see his father's faith, which would then influence his own. You know, fatherhood is not just providing. It's not just providing in the material sense.
No.
It's providing the spiritual framework for the child. It's providing the social framework for the child. It's providing love. It's providing laughs. It's providing warmth. It's providing that hug at 3 a.m. when your child had a nightmare.
Yes.
It's, you know, providing those fresh sheets when your child had an accident and has woken you up even though you was like 2 shakes of a lamb's tail away from REM sleep.
True story.
You know what I'm saying? You know, true story over and over. You know what I mean? Like, it's providing more than that, and to get that from the parent that's supposed to be the hard or the tough or the stoic. You know, our kids, and we talk about this all the time, have me wrapped around their fingers.
Wrapped. Child, wrapped.
You know, they know they ain't got to say nothing to get a hug. They know they ain't got to say nothing to get a kiss. You know what I mean? I do so thoroughly enjoy being their dad.
Yeah.
Not as much as I enjoy being your husband.
Period.
But in terms of maybe not redefining, but like putting it in its proper place and proper perspective. And like again, you said we approach parenting the same way that we approach marriage, which is very biblical. It says for husbands to love their wives the way that Christ loved the church. Christ gave his life for the church.
Yeah.
He sacrificed and he bled and he died. And there's parts of us that have to die in that. And that's selfishness. So, you know, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's getting the dishes, you know what I'm saying, doing the laundry, doing the cleaning, the thing that has to die in you so that partnership can be, you know, truly encouraged. It's so important, and it's the thing that is going to benefit not just your wife, not just your kids, but you the most as well.
I love that, babe, and you know, I really, really appreciate all of that. I could not explain that because, you know, I don't know what it means to be a daddy, you know. But, you know, if there's one thing I want everybody listening to take away from today's episode is that motherhood and parenthood is not meant to be a one-person show. Dads, partners, step up. Moms, communicate and create space for partnership. Because when we work together, we create healthier families, stronger relationships, and even happier kids. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to The Nurtured Noir and leave a review. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And of course, let's keep this conversation going. DM me on Instagram at The Nurtured Noir Podcast and tell me how your partner supports you or where they can improve. And of course, my love, giving you a spot to shout out and where they can find him and how they can support you.
Thanks, babe.
Of course.
Obviously, if you're looking for me personally, at Coach Alexander with a K, yo. But most importantly, Maison de Filion is our luxury watch and now fragrance brand as well. We're taking pre-orders for our first collection, which is Pistress. I'm wearing one of them right now. At Maison de Filion, MAISONDAPHELION. But make sure that you hit like, subscribe, follow the Nurtured Noir podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We love y'all.
Until next time, take care of each other, and stay nurtured. Oh, right there, though.